Hello everyone, and welcome back to Modelling Misfit. For this video, I was inspired by this photo and wanted to recreate it in my own way. I must say I was really impressed with the new tooling Airfix have made for this Chinook, even down to the extra pronounced sprue labels, so I don't have to do the ones I normally do. The internals were like 10 pieces, so I did that really quickly, and then I started with a dry brushing for the hanging seats. It's really quite annoying that they didn't mould them to have the gaps that the real ones do, as they're basically just hanging camping chairs. So I used a dry brushing to try and keep that spot clear and then painted the rest of it red. Then after painting it up, I whacked all the fuselage together and added all the little detail pieces off camera, because I'm physically incapable of learning that when I do it this early, at least one of them always breaks off. After giving the entire model a coat of green, I made some covers for the windows by covering it in painter's tape and then having the light shining through to see where the borders of the windows were, and using my hobby blade to accurately make sure they were covered. For this diorama, I ordered these Special Forces miniatures. They all came individually wrapped, which was a bit of a pain in the arse, but little did I know the pain in the arse these things had in store for me. I was quite impressed by the quality of these prints, with only a few supports that needed to be removed. Now it's time to try and paint these things as big as my thumbnail, the very detailed MTP. Starting with a base coat of green and doing increasingly smaller areas of different greens, beiges and browns, which left me leant over my desk for over 3 hours doing little hairline paints on 7 different miniatures. Finishing it off with the skin tones, weapons and all the other little details. After doing the same with all the little details on the Chinook, I got started with the decals, including these huge ones which were a massive pain in the arse and were a nightmare to get in the right place without looking like a sticker that had been placed funny. Then for my favourite bit, in the removing of the masking tape from the windows. And after giving the Chinook a coat of varnish and gluing the windows into place, I moved on to the base. As always, starting with the base, I measured out a second piece and what kind of a slope I wanted. Then on the base, carving out a little divot to try and give some more depth, which, doing it with only a hobby blade, was not fun. Then carving out a bunch of extra detail onto the slope to have it look more natural once covered in the texture paste. Then in order to make the building, I took this sheet of styrene and used the miniature to measure the approximate size of a 2-storey building. After cutting it out, I used this rock texture roller, which was from Temu, and so I had to press extremely hard and it hurt my fingers. After that, I used a series of progressively lighter greys to get a convincing rock colour. After cutting them out and gluing them together, I made 2 windows and a door out of wooden offcuts, and it was an extremely tight squeeze. I had to force it in harder than a priest at summer camp. In order to hide the white insides, I painted another small sheet black and glued it to the inside. To help give the Chinook strength once in place, I glued in another piece of the original thick foam. With that done, I took these pieces of corrugated metal and used them to make a little roof porch thing. The new shininess of it didn't look right, so I used these different coloured weathering powders which make a really convincing rust look on metal. After gluing it on, I added some supports and left it to the side. I took AK's sand texture paste and covered the base with it. While the base was still wet, I used the miniatures to create little foot trails in the sand. Then using where the helicopter will be permanently placed, I saw where it would be hovering and where I should add a little circle where those small bits of sand, dust and detritus would have been blown away. After sprinkling it all on, I used Woodland Scenic cement to secure it all down. Whilst waiting for it to dry, I took some synthetic vines, added a large clump of it to the corner of the building, along with some bushes at the base, and a large clump, as a lot of these compounds were used to grow a certain kind of poppy. I then spent a lot of time pulling a bunch of vines out individually and had them wrap all the way around the building, trying as hard as I could to ensure that they went between the bricks naturally. I started adding details to the building, like a bundle of wood and a little bucket, and after adding some sand into the corners to have it look more natural, I decided I wasn't happy with the wide open space to the side, so I took the balsa wood I had, measured out and cut off a ton of sticks and glued them all together to make a little hut stable-y thing. Then after drilling some holes into the bottom of the Chinook, I took 3 poles of armature wire and drowned them in super glue. I then poked and pushed it down into the roof and glued it into place. Along with the miniatures. I then took out some PVA glue, spread it out nice and thin, and spread around some more sand. I then painted the sides black, and with that, I called it good.